Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's Dealer On webinar, activating your dealership's voice for more leads, more sales, and more money. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'm very happy to be your moderator today. Today's webinar is being presented by Dealer On, and for anyone who isn't familiar with Dealer On, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the absolute best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the brand new Chameleon Responsive Website Platform. Of course, I want to announce Dealer On has once again been named as a top-rated website provider in the 6th Annual Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Awards, and this year we also won the Pinnacle Award from AWA. And for more information on who we are and what we do, please check us out at our gorgeous brand new Dealer On website at dealeron.com. And you can also visit us at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention in Tampa, Florida at Booth 300. We hope to see you there. We have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have not one, but two powerhouse automotive ladies as our presenters today, Kate Frost and Renee Stuart. Kate Frost, of course, is the president of Kate Frost, Inc., which helps their dealership clients to improve their lead handling processes and digital marketing. Kate has an extensive background in automotive advertising, and she brings a unique insight into the automotive digital marketing realm. From online advertising and branding to engaging social media and website enhancement, Kate helps establish and maintain dealership's digital presence. With well over a decade invested in the automotive industry, she has collaborated with numerous OEMs, dealer groups, and single-store operations, both through in-store, outside sales, and most recently in a digital media consulting capacity. Kate is a busy public speaker, and as a matter of fact, she's going to be speaking at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention in Tampa next month, so if you're there, you got to try and catch her, okay? And she can be reached at katefrostinc.com. Now, joining Kate today is none other than Renee Stuart, a certified professional coach and certified personal brand strategist, focusing her 30-plus years of automotive industry experience into her coaching practice, Reputation Revenue. Renee has always been a true car girl, known for her innovative thinking, resourcefulness, and vision. She has become a proven industry leader by identifying new opportunities and creating long-lasting strategic solutions in personal and corporate branding. Renee is a highly charged motivator who inspires her clients to understand the value of their unique attributes and learn innovative ways to monetize their business and community reputation. She's a highly respected member of the automotive community, and she can be reached at Renee at reputationrevenue.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, well, guess what? We're going to try and respond to your email by later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is also going to be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at Kate Frost, Inc. and Reputation Revenue are giving away an incredible prize today on the webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to win the Brand Advocate Ultimate Swag Bag. You heard me. It's filled with some awesome tools so you can tell your brand story in a fun and engaging way. This Ultimate Swag Bag includes a Bluetooth selfie stick, a Fujifilm mini camera, 3-in-1 iPhone lens, 58-piece prop kit, 6-piece emoji pack, and dry erase markers. Phew! They've included all the good stuff so you can activate your voice and begin advocating on behalf of your brand. This is a great prize for your dealership. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned, and you could be the one walking away with this tremendous prize today. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to receive a short survey, so fill it out because we're always looking for great feedback from our audience. Today, we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn how to activate your dealership's voice for more leads, more sales, and more money. Kate and Renee, how the heck are my ladies doing? How are you?
Great. I'm so excited after that intro, aren't you?
Thanks, Kate. Renee, say hi to everyone, babe.
Oh, so excited. So special. Wow, I'm like, wow, that was me? I don't even know that song.
Yes, you've really done all that stuff. I am so pleased. It's a great day when I have just one of you here, but I have both of you here today, and what a great topic you guys picked, because reading the description that you guys put together for this presentation, I love the fact that you're putting dealerships, or any companies really, number one priority and putting it out there. And they're using the number one priority is their employees. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really putting them to work. Not just the day-to-day stuff that the employees are hired to do, but really getting them to be their number one advocates. What a great idea. How do we do that? What are the kinds of things we're going to be learning about today?
Well, that's the core of it all. You summed it up in just 30 seconds. So what Kate and I have found after the past year is there are some forward-thinking and progressive dealerships that are out there, one we're going to share with you today, that know that the most relevant and engaging content that a business can share with its target audience, with its community, is contributed by those that know the brand and the product and the customer the best, and that's the employee. But so many of us show up to work every day, and we get stuck in the mundane duties of the day-to-day job, and we kind of close our eyes and don't contribute. So when individual team members, they take the time and they deliver on the company's brand promise, and they do it in a very unique way, what happens is they are seen by the consumers, by the local community, and by the people engaging with the business as it's seen as a genuine message, and that expands the company's brand identity, which is super powerful. The reach becomes exponential. So today, Kate and I will share with you some proven strategies. We will show you what you can do as an organization to engage your advocates, take your employees, who we believe are your greatest assets in your business, and get them talking about themselves and the business using social media and traditional marketing. We see that as a win-win, especially when it drives traffic. So in the objectives today, we're going to talk a little bit about storytelling and how your brand story can be shared in real time, and that's key, that we're doing it in real time. We're going to communicate core values and the importance of core values when teaching and training your employees on how to be an advocate. And then, of course, advocating and activating the team themselves, the members of the team, getting your business to leverage its human capital, which a lot of us are not doing today. We're going to show you how to do that. Also, engage the customer with relevant content. If it matters to them, they're going to engage in it because they like to tell stories too, as well as reaching your business goals by expanding brand awareness. So here's the deal. The voice of your company, the voice of your business, the voice of your dealership is going to require some engagement. And engaged employees are not just showing up to work longer. What makes an engaged employee different is that they are knowledgeable about the company's mission. They understand what the company stands for, the values, the purpose, the vision of what the company is, what it stands for. And they tell the world that they and the company what they're up to. So they're out there chattering, and we want that to be a positive message. Engaged employees are those who create value. So when we look at the equation of engagement, right now, industries, businesses, car business especially, are the traditional recruiting and hiring process involves a lot of Q&A around ability, which is important. We have to know that they have the skill, the knowledge, and the capability to perform a specific job or task or duty, but that's only one piece of the equation. We must, as the industry, as whether you're a dealership or you're on the line as a vendor, or whatever you're contributing to our beautiful industry that we love and we're passionate about, we have to begin to evaluate the talent that we have in this industry by exploring willingness. So there are two pieces to willingness. One of them is buy-in, and we all know that. We get a pay plan, and it's tied to what we get to do every day. That's what's in it for me, right? I get paid to do my job. But in order to truly activate the voice of your business, it's imperative that we tap into everyone's intrinsic motivations. These are individual strengths and their own personal values, what their purpose is, how to create a meaningful work environment, vision, passion, all of those great things that make you who you are. So it's really important to create an atmosphere where people can do amazing things. That's the goal here, is to get everybody involved. Activating the voice of your dealership, it's a do-with process. It can't be that finger-pointing that we all like to do. You know, hey, go do this, or I'm going to go do this. It can't be transactional. This type of initiative is based on the principle of a personal brand plus a corporate brand. And when they unite, crazy, awesome things happen. Let's face it, today employers need engaged employees, and employees need engaged employers. We know that human beings get a biological and social reward from telling personal stories, and this sharing is the pinnacle of engagement. The act of doing and sharing feeds each other, and we're all hungry for that. So we need to make sure that we're being human beings and we're humanizing this process. It's time to start sharing information and fully embracing the storytelling, and Kate is going to give all of us some awesome reasons why. So I think we have a poll question first.
Can you hear me? Okay, here we go. All right, audience, we have 3 poll questions for you today. This is your first. We hope you enjoy it, and we hope you get involved. We want to know, and this is a good question, if you had to tell your company's brand story right now, could you do it? Please select one of the following. I mean, like right now. Like not even thinking about it. Could you do it? Yes, and I totally nail it. Or how about, yeah, but I probably stumble through it a bit. How about maybe I could make something up on the fly? No, our brand story has never actually been communicated to me, so I wouldn't know how to say it back to somebody else. Or, no, what the heck is a brand story? Once we get a majority of these votes in, we're going to close the poll and share the results. If you had to tell your company's brand story right now, could you? Yes, you'd nail it. Yes, but you'd probably stumble through it. Maybe you could probably make up something on the fly that might sound good. No, our brand story has never actually been communicated to me. Or, what the heck are you talking about? I don't even know what a brand story is. What does that mean? We're going to get to the results in just a moment. And, you know, I laugh about this because, you know, as on the vendor side, when we go and we do like Digital Dealer or any of these other, you know, great big things, if somebody says, I don't know what Dealer On does, or if somebody says, you know, what does your company do, I have the elevator pitch like down. I'm ready. I'm there. You know?
It's so funny. I was just going to say you have to have the elevator pitch ready, right?
Yeah, totally, totally. So funny because people's eyes light up. They're like, wow, you really know that. I was like,
have you said that before?
Oh my gosh, I say it every week on Thursday. So, all right, audience, thank you so much for getting involved with this first poll question. We've got 2 more coming your way in just a bit. But here we go. Let's close this poll and share the results. Okay, we got an even split on the first 2 answers. 39% of today's audience said yes, and they'd totally nail it. Another 39% said yes, but they'd probably stumble through it. 17% of today's audience said they could probably make something up on the fly that sounded pretty good. And the remaining 4% said they have no idea what you're talking about. What's a brand story? So, Kate, Renee, I'm guessing you're going to tell us that we should all be able to totally nail our company's brand story.
Yeah, and I love that clearly the people on the line are in automotive and salespeople and filled with confidence. I love totally nail it and could do it. So wonderful.
Well, you know what else surprises me? Okay, I really thought that we were going to have more people that said, our brand story has never been communicated to me. No one selected that answer. So that tells me everyone has been communicated. I'm guessing that everyone has been communicated except for the 4% who said, what's a brand story?
Right.
So at least dealerships are doing that.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's great news.
Okay, I'm sending it back over to you.
Perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about sharing, and you know, as a parent, it's really one of the first things that we teach our children, right, is to share It's part of our culture, and we encourage it. And the stats on the screen tell you why you should be sharing, but what we're really focused on is what you should be sharing, and we believe that that's storytelling. And I know that storytelling, or it seems to be that storytelling, is a buzzword right now. And no doubt if this webinar were a drinking game, you would all be blackout drunk by the end of this, because we're going to talk about it a lot. But I really like it because it conveys a different emotion. You know, if you're asking about if you're asking for a testimonial or a review, you have a pretty good idea of what's coming. But when you ask for a customer's story, it's more powerful because it has details and emotion and not necessarily a predictable outcome. And so what motivates somebody to share? And I think that's the next slide, Renee. So it's really, you know, the practice of giving. Often we're compelled to share. It's why Renee and I are on this week. It's why Dealer On shares information each week, because we like to do it. We like to have the connection with other people, and it's just part of our culture and what we like to do. And social media is just a great way and a natural fit for that storytelling, because it is social media and it's not selling media. So, you know, the very nature of social media is to share, and that's why there's a share option on Facebook and retweeting on Twitter and repinning on Pinterest and so on. These channels are really your local voice and your company's brand, and so we want to use these to tell that story in real time, like Renee had suggested. Next one. Renee's asleep over there. And so I think the beauty of storytelling can be seen here. We're going to be talking about Mini of Portland, which is an account that Renee and I have been working on and with for over a year. And the beauty of this screen shows that when you share your story, customers are then compelled to share their stories. And so how wonderful that here are all of these people who are posting to Mini of Portland about their experience and where they've taken their minis, and that they genuinely want to share their story as well. And so when we are talking about this and giving you these examples of how Mini of Portland was able to grow their brand awareness and build community and sell more cars and service through all of it, I think that it's important to note that you don't have to be a social media expert to get these results. Well, everyone definitely has a story to tell and share. Doesn't mean that there shouldn't be someone who's ultimately controlling the content and acting as an administrator for publishing these stories. So just because you're an advocate doesn't necessarily mean you should be an admin on Facebook. With this example, we used a cloud service to upload the content, and then we made sure that it met the brand standards. We watermarked their pictures. We scheduled accordingly to all of the different channels, and that really helped to maintain a consistent voice and supported Mini of Portland's overall vision.
Okay, so yes, vision. Oh my gosh. So I read in a study that was done by, I want to say it was Global Workplace. It was a Global Workplace survey, I know that employees are disengaged, and there's about 41% of U.S. employees that currently know what the company's standards are, and they know what makes their brand different from its competitors. So to the point there, Eliana, you had said, well, not very many people are saying, you know, that they've never heard it. But what's really interesting is they're not talking about it. They're you know, why aren't they speaking up? So when we look at storytelling as a big picture, we need to understand that the human component of branding, the human component of making your dealership not as transactional but more experiential, is going to require everybody to participate. So In this example here, and then throughout the entire presentation, we're going to show you examples of Mini of Portland. They gave us permission to do that. And in doing so, when I sat down and I did their brand discovery, I said, what's your intention? What's the purpose of this project? What's the purpose of wanting to get your employees involved in the bigger picture of your marketing plan and your brand awareness and expanding, you know, who you are as a business in the community? And what came up were the fact that, one, they wanted everyone to connect, and that was key. Two, they wanted everyone, including employees. This isn't just the customer, but they wanted employees and customers and anyone that encountered the business to feel respected, and they wanted everybody having fun. They believed that if they could get their advocates to keep top of mind just these three things, that they would deliver on a positive dealership experience. And so when we dove in and we looked really close at the values of their business, which is a piece that you're all going to have to do, you're going to have to stop and say, okay, who are we and how are we going to translate this story and how are we going to get our employees to activate? Remember, we're motivated based on what our intrinsic values are. So these were their key values. Every company has a story that's worth telling, and most engaged companies create new ones all the time, and that's what this program is about. It's about real-time storytelling. Some of the world's most engaging brands have, you know, what would probably be considered kind of a boring product. Now, Mini is fun and exciting, but it's a very niche car. Not everybody is going to go drive one. It really doesn't matter what your brand is and what you're selling. What makes the employee engaged is how they tell that story to the world. So the stories all touch back to the mission. They wanted to insert honesty and concern and accountability and truth and respect and action in their storytelling. So again, training. They weaved this in to their advocates, so their advocates could really feel like they were on point, and by doing so, they were able to connect to their own personal values. Those are many of Portland's core values, and the words that are there represent the guiding principles of their brand story. Once they understood what those meanings were, they were able to actually evoke emotion within each employee, and they began to share. The essence of the brand is also really important. So for those of you who said, oh yeah, I know exactly what my brand story is and I'm pretty good at telling it, are you able to identify the core values within your organization, and do they do something for you? Do they make you take action? Do they cause you to move forward and get motivated? Also, it's really important to know what the overall essence of the brand is. So again, in order to fully capture that with Mini of Portland, it was determined that fun was the essence of their brand, but they wanted to make clear this wasn't antics, this wasn't circus behavior. This was fun begins when the customer felt respected. So during their brand advocate training, we started to tell stories about customers and about employees of how when somebody feels valued, then their mindset shifts and their attitude improves, and they become grateful for their opportunities. Even if that car just sold 5 minutes ago and their appointment showed up 15 minutes late, they were like, hey, you know, there's somebody in front of me. I'm really excited that there's still somebody in front of me, because they're connecting to the core values of the company as well as themselves. That's when they're able to stay focused on what the purpose of that specific experience is, and again, make commitments, and it works for the customer too. People are able to express genuine interest and establish and maintain rapport, which we know is key in our business. As long as they know that we care and we're having fun, and their time or their engagement with our organization is respected, well, that's when the fun begins. And again, fun was the essence of the brand and the examples that we're going to use here today. Really simple. We got to humanize our business. We are such a transactional business. It's the if this, then that, or if that, then this. So for this reason alone, you should activate your voice in your business. A personal plus corporate brand initiative supports your employees and will motivate them to connect, communicate, and prove to the community that they're willing to help. This will differentiate you and your business, and it's really important that we bring back the human element. Right, Kate?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So I think we have a poll question, Eliana.
Yes, ma'am, we do. Okay, your second of 3 poll questions is on the screen now. We'd love for you to get involved. The question is, do you currently use employee-generated content in your marketing? Please select one of the following answers. Yes, and it works great for us. Yes, but we're not getting quite the results we'd like to see. Not yet, but we're thinking about it. No, we don't. Management would never approve something like that. Or, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this last one, if I could give it the justice that it needs, but I will try. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't know if I got that right. Did I do that right,
I think
Kate?
you did a great job.
Really? Because I know you're really the master at that, and you really should tell people how to do that. Anyway.
I am so excited for the answers here. I can't wait. I mean, this one is just like, Kate and I are always wondering, I wonder if people are doing this. I wonder if they're actually, you know, right, Kate?
Absolutely.
Well,
I bet everybody's going to say, nailed it again.
I think you're going to be surprised by these answers. But, okay, audience, your votes are coming in, and thank you so much if you've already voted. If you haven't voted, well, here's the question again. Do you currently use employee-generated content in your marketing? Yes, it works great for us. Yes, but we're not really seeing the results we'd like to see. Not yet, but we're thinking about it. No, management would never approve that, or ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, once we get, we already have a majority of the votes in. I just wanted a few more votes. I was hoping a few more would come in. Okay, there we go. All right, let's close this poll and share the results. Are you ready for this, ladies?
Yes.
All right, here we go. 29% of today's audience said yes, they do, and it works great for them. That's actually a lot. I didn't know that we were going to get that many. 14% of today's audience said yes, but they admit they're not getting quite the results they'd like to see. Now the majority, nearly half of today's audience, 48%, said not yet. Not yet, but they're thinking about it. I guess that's why they're here today, right?
Yes.
And even 10% rounds out the bottom 2 answers, with 5% saying no, we don't, management would never approve that, and 5% saying nobody's got time for that. Kate, Renee, any comments on that?
I think that's interesting. The bottom 10%, or really more than half, are the no's, and yet everybody, for the most part, said that they knew what their brand was. And so that's a little sad that they're not able to tell that story and shout it from the rooftops like we'd like them to.
Interesting.
I also find it interesting that, you know, our management would never approve that, and I think that comes from the idea that, you know, if you're there to write service, you just need to be writing service. If you're there to answer phones, just answer phones. If you're there to sell cars, I want you selling cars.
Right.
And we're going to show you in some examples here coming up. Kate's got this, and she's going to show you that it takes 30 seconds to contribute something that you see and turn what's in your head into something very, very powerful online that creates a reach that's just, it's crazy. It's crazy reach. Crazy reach.
Exactly. And so we're obviously here today because we believe that you do have a voice and that you should be contributing, and how you fit in is really up to you. But we do believe that you're the brand and that your customers want to have that sneak peek behind the curtain to see what your company is all about, and to get other people to share in that storytelling as well. And so we have some examples that we wanted to walk you through so that you could be thinking about how you could use your own voice to get that message out. And so before we get started in this, I think that it is important to note that Mini of Portland has just over 1,200 fans right now, so they're not you know, crazy big 20,000 fans, and that none of the posts that we're showing you have been boosted. So we've spent $0 advertising any of this. This is all going to be organic reach, and by working with the dealerships across the country, I can tell you that their numbers are significantly higher, and it's not that we've done anything different in terms of like posting or frequency. It's really the content that we're talking about here. And so what you can see here is a picture of one of the employees, sales girls, during the downtime, which we know there's all downtime at a dealership, that she went outside and she started just showing off the accessories and the gear. That's a pretty easy one to do, but you can see that it started catching on, that more than 45 people liked it. There were all of these comments, and so she was smart enough to actually tag herself in the photo so that her friends were seeing it as well, and tying that into some of that reach that we're talking about here as well. And then what's the next one, Renee? And this is a great one too. Here they did a road rally, and you can see that the people that we posted about, they went in and they tagged themselves as well. This is a great thing to do for all of those events that you're participating in currently. So whether that's a car club, that's a new owners clinic, a rally, any of the charities that you support, taking those pictures and putting a face, again, humanizing your brand, it really works and delivers. And the next one. And then this is really easy too. I know that everybody talks about video and how important it is, but this is a great thing to keep in mind when you are posting to your social channels, and that's to answer questions. So become a resource for your customers and answer the questions that you know they're already asking. And then I think the next one is, yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to brag. I know that we spend all this time asking for our customers to leave us reviews, whether that's on Google or DealerRater or Cars.com, but this is a way that we can repurpose some of those reviews, get them in front of a new audience, and have people come in and ask for you specifically. This is, again, a great way that you could be tagging yourself in those testimonials so that your friends and your connections see that as well, and maybe potential customers come in and ask specifically for you. And I love this one because if you can read the description on it, these two people flew in to pick up this vehicle, and they actually brought that elf on the shelf with them. So this was really great during Christmas to have these people come in. And we know that, you know, you have customers who travel long distances to purchase from you, and that's really the story that can be shared with that, beyond just congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. And then this is awesome. So this is one of their employees who ended up getting married on December 13th, 2014, so 12, 13, 14. But again, humanize your salespeople so that you don't fit into those stereotypes that people have. If somebody is having a baby or took an awesome vacation or has a birthday or an anniversary or even a new employee, this is a great way to spotlight that and to show the people behind your brand. And so these examples don't just happen at Mini of Portland, right? Every company, every dealership is made up of these same type of people, the same customers and experiences, but the difference here is that Mini is sharing the story. And so how do you share yours? Renee is going to talk to you a little bit about that.
So absolutely. And again, I just want to remind everybody that these employees are not admins on Facebook or tweeting or managing social media.
Right.
They're basically seeing something that makes them go, oh, I want to tell that story, and they're interpreting it, and through a simple cloud service, they'll snap a picture and upload it and give it a brief description, and then you know, your social media team or your marketing manager, in our case, that's what we do. We take it from there and ensure that everything that's being told is being told in a way that aligns with the organization's core values and essence of their brand. But here's the beautiful part. This is your opportunity to brand yourself. I don't know if you noticed in several of those photos, they were watermarked with the employee's name. So when you create a content that tells the story of your brand through your eyes, it's very, very powerful. As long as it aligns with the core values of the company, again, we go back to how many of you do you really know the brand story? And are you able to connect to what it is that they want? And that will allow the management team and the dealership to go, hey, you know what? Because I know you know us well and you're advocating on our behalf, we want you to go ahead and do that. Your content, when it's published this way, you get full attribution. You can tag yourself, engage in the post, share the content on your own social channels. That's where the reach gets even more, exponential. So it's important that you consider yourself as the key to being part of the brand story. Look at it this way. If you're on the line and you're thinking, you know what, jury's still out, I'm not sure if I really want to do this today, this is your digital evidence manual. The more content that you can create and share, think of your employer as your strategic partner, and they have a bandwidth that through their marketing channels that you could never reach, and then vice versa. You have a bandwidth that they could never reach. So it's really important when you're considering why would I do this, that be part of it, that it is your professional evidence that you're putting out online through all of you're basically telling your own story. So sometimes employees get stuck. We know that. Kate and I have been doing this a while. They don't always know what to capture. They don't know what story to tell. So here's our advice to you. Keep it simple. Imagine these are 3 buckets, and you get to decide what content you want to be able to contribute. Now, it's going to be different for everybody. I know there's a lot of people at Mini of Portland, they don't get really involved in the event, but they have a huge book of business, so they're able to tap into customers that are popping in and visiting the dealership and the service department. A lot of people bring their dogs. So they see that, and they go, ooh, I want to give this customer the spotlight today. So they'll capture pictures and tell that story of how the dog brought his countrymen in. The other is a lot of people are familiar with, they may not have a huge book of business. They may not be involved in events and activities, whether they're sponsored off-site or in the store, but they want to be able to show who they are. And so I'm going to show you some examples here of what that looks like. Mini USA, for this example here, is a partner with Burton. And one employee saw the Burton girls stop by. They dropped off donuts or bagels or something one morning on their way up to the mountain. And the employee thought, oh my gosh, this would be a great picture. So through just snapping a picture while she was standing outside, she saw them stand there. Hey, can I take your picture? She said, what are you girls up to? You know, we're heading up to the mountain. We're going to demo some new snowboards. That's just the description she put into the picture, and it tells a great story. So those are your partners, so don't exclude any of your business partners. Also, this example here was snapped by one of the sales managers. Actually, a sales manager took this picture, gathered everybody up, and said, hey, everybody get together. This was just after probably 20 plus, maybe 30 Mini owners had stopped by from the Mini Club. They stopped by the dealership because the dealership had a little get-together for them for the kickoff of Mini's national annual cross-country road trip called Mini Takes the State. So there were a handful of people in the Mini Club that actually motored on to San Francisco, and this was their team saying, hey, you know, travel safe, have fun, go have a good time. And a bunch of people tagged themselves in that picture. Well, what's interesting is a few of the owners that were on that trip said, hey, we want to contribute, because people ask them, hey, send us your pictures, tell us how the road trip was. And that's where this content started coming in. This particular customer actually got an invitation into the cloud service, and they were uploading photos their entire trip across the country. And then we turned this, of course, into content. The other piece here is when you look at fun facts, it doesn't always have to be FAQs. What we did is we put together a whole list, like 20 questions. And we grabbed as many employees as we could. We put the camera in front of them, and we started asking them random questions. We had all this video footage, snipped it up into single questions, and pieced this video together, and it's absolutely hysterical. When you take all these team members and you ask them, what's your favorite childhood game, or what was the best TV show on the air when you were a kid, it really does a great job of humanizing the brand. So there are just a few examples of how we can activate your voice and expand brand awareness, but what it's really all about, Kate's going to take you through some more details of really what's next and how to make that happen.
So my favorite, and I'm using air quotes when I say that, is when I get asked the question, so how can I sell cars on social media, and what's my ROI? And maybe in a different webinar we can talk a little bit more about how targeted Facebook advertising is. But for this example, I think that the statistics below tell you why we're doing all of this. And it's something that the manufacturer discovered a long time ago, right? That happy customers, they return, and that they're worth more money. And it's why they send your customers surveys and incentivize you to have good CSI, because we believe in that word of mouth marketing, the whole enough about me, what do you think about me? And so you really have to give them what they want, and a lot of times that just is as simple as listening. So you want to read the responses within Facebook to see what people are saying, listen on Twitter to see what the questions are, and then give them more of that information. There's a few things to keep in mind that I would say. One is that, great visuals. You're going to see throughout all of this that we're taking real people, I say it's the 3 R's, real people, real products, real photos. And again, another universal truth that Renee touched on is that, dogs, cats, animals in general, that all does really well, not only on the internet, but on social media. I know that AJ is on the phone right now, and he's constantly sending me pictures of Claudia, the Min Pin. I think that if you even did a search on Google right now for Claudia, the Min Pin, the page comes up. So definitely if you see some of those animals cruising through the dealership, snap that photo. I love this photo because it just shows absolute excitement, right? And buying a car is exciting, and that's why we love this photo, because it's not just somebody standing in front of it. And you love that Michelle, who purchased the vehicle, has gone in and tagged herself. I think the easiest thing to keep in mind with any of this, because you do want them to interact, is that as you're taking this photo, you let the customer know, great, this is going on our Facebook page, check back in a day or two, and you can share from there. And then another great photo where you're really showing your brand. You gotta love the Doc Martens, showing that personality and highlighting the customers as well, showing that mini style. And then, defy some stereotypes. You love that here's the 6'3" man who's standing in front of his Mini, and that he fits in, and that this is his car. I think this is a great photo, and again, have some fun when you're taking those photos to show that personality. And then if you're not able to come up with a story on your own, repurpose a story. So you've got to love this one, talking about Snow White. The Snow White Mini needs a driver to motor her off into the sunset to live happily ever after. Super fun, not the most original photo, but there we've put a creative spin on it and told the story to make it compelling enough that 25 people liked it. So, you know, a few things to keep in mind with that: the great visuals. Don't be afraid to use humor with it. And then I think what you could see in all of those, too, was that we had a short message. Anytime on Facebook there's the link to read more, I guarantee that nobody is going on and reading more. And I think that takes us to another poll question, Eliana,
Yes.
our last one.
Our third and final poll question is on the screen now. Audience, we'd love for you to vote. So the question is, how knowledgeable are you with your company's current marketing goals? Very interesting. Please select one of the following. Are you very familiar because it's your job? Are you pretty familiar? You're briefed on it often. Maybe you're not in the marketing department, but, you know, they talk to you. How about, I only know about the really big or the expensive events, the ones where they, you know, let everyone in the dealership know right down to the receptionist. How about, whatever I overhear around the water cooler, or OMG, I'm totally in the dark, no one tells me anything. And of course, AJ, clown that he is, writes in, what's marketing? Thanks, AJ. Thank you so much for that. Oh, we have a lot of people who voted on this one. A lot of people. This is the one that most people answered. So thank you, audience. You guys are awesome. I'll read the question one last time. How knowledgeable are you with your company's current marketing goals? Very familiar. It's my job. Pretty familiar. I'm briefed on it often. I only know about the really big or expensive events. Whatever I overhear around the water cooler, or OMG, I'm totally in the dark. They don't tell me nothing. All right. Are you ready to hear the answers?
Let's hear it.
Let's go. All right, 65% of today's audience said that they are very familiar. It's their job. 65% are, you know, in the marketing department, okay? So 23% of today's audience said they're pretty familiar. They're briefed on it often. 12% of today's audience said, I only know about the really big or expensive events, and then no one answered the last two, which was whatever I can overhear or that they don't hear anything. Is that what you were expecting, ladies?
I would think just based on the nature of the topic that a lot of people would be involved in marketing. So I'm not that surprised. What about you, Renee?
Yeah, no, I'm happy. It makes me happy to know that that's getting shared. I just think, so what was the percentage again of the top 39? 49?
No, 65% said that.
Oh, 65%. So, of course, just being a curious person, I'm like, well, what about the rest? So what do we need to do to help those people? And then, of course, those 65% that are getting the message, you know, how can we improve, right? 135 advocates are more powerful than, what, 1 million fans. So yeah. A lot of people for a long time, they were focusing on fan base, fan base, fan base. Given the examples that we're showing here today, when I originally sat down to do their brand discovery and say, okay, you want to activate the voice of your dealership, you want to get everybody involved and give them a platform to stand on to share their very best self, what are you looking for? It was very clear to me within 3.5 seconds that they did not care to go out and gather irrelevant or insignificant fans. Their goal, and this is the goals that we're talking about with regard to the goals for the marketing plan, not necessarily rates of conversion or, I mean, all of that's really important. And if you're a marketer and you're on the line, of course you need to know that. You need to know what events are coming up. You need to know what role you're going to play in it. But what we're referring to with regard to a project like this, if you were to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go back to my business, I'm going to initiate this advocacy program, I'm going to activate the voice of everybody in my business, I'm going to get everybody involved, it's extremely important to share the goal of the project with your people and every single one of them, not just the people in marketing. It's easy to assume that everyone knows what outcome you're expecting, but clarity is the key to consistency, and as marketers, I know you know that. In the case of Minneapolis, they wanted to give their local community, here's the goal, the intention, right? And the outcome that they wanted to give their local community, that unique fan base, the people specific to them and then the people in their network, relevant content they would engage in. Not something just that was random they could find on the internet, but something true and genuine and real about what was happening in their store in real time. They also wanted to give their employees an opportunity to share their voice, and that was a very big piece of this project. And in doing so, they wanted them to be recognized as an authoritative expert on the brand. They have sold and serviced a lot more cars, and they have, there's a lot of times there's damage control when we're looking at reputation management. It's like we're very reactive. In this case, they're developing their reputation by creating this type of content. They gave them the entire stage. They said, the stage is yours. Do what serves you. It was up to the individual advocate, the hand raiser, to determine how much of that they chose. And so what I mean by that is not everybody is super social. That may come as a surprise to you, but not everybody at this particular dealership was active in social media, but they wanted to participate. And then there were some that were very active in social media, but they weren't really that great at technology. So some team members would just simply capture stories, and then they would share them with us. Whereas other team members would engage in the content on Facebook. It didn't matter who posted it or whose name was on it. They would actually get on Facebook or Twitter or Google+, and they would like the content, of course, creating another story. Every time you like something, it creates a story. Or commenting creates a story. Many of them were sharing the content onto their own platform. But they didn't actually capture the picture or contribute in content into the cloud service, mostly because these people weren't tech savvy. They didn't have the latest and greatest smartphone, and they weren't really comfortable in using their apps. So I found it to be very interesting as I weaved my way through all of these people and trying to determine how they wanted to contribute. Because the first thing was, well, I don't have a smartphone, or you know what, I have a smartphone, but I'm not on social media. That's not what this is about. This is about activating the voice and allowing them to interpret the story. Then there were those who created a buzz, and they captured stories, and they liked everything, and they commented on everything, and they shared everything, and they tagged themselves in, well, everything. Even if it wasn't their picture, they tagged themselves in it because they understood the power of that reach. And if they could tag themselves in the picture, then anybody that was out there coming across that picture would see that they were tagged in the photo. The point is, get involved. Be sure you're taking action every day. One thing is better than no thing. So be sure that you're doing something to activate the best piece of you and contribute as an active member of your team, and get loud. It's okay to go ahead and get loud. This isn't about us versus them. Yes, I specialize in personal branding. Yes, Kate is the authority in social. But here's the thing. You need your employer, and your employer needs you, and you two need to work together. And when you do that, this is about generating more leads. This is about making more money and selling and servicing more cars. And in my book, I call that a win-win-win. So as we wrap up, I know we're getting close to time. Kate and I put together some resources for you guys for what to do next. These are crazy URLs. I'm sorry it doesn't look pretty and fancy. But if you take a screenshot of this right now, it will be really easy for you to find it, or contact us through social channels or email us and ask us for the direct links. We can share those with you too. But for those of you who are on the call today, go to slideshare.net and visit Kate Frost's page. There is a slide deck there that is a resource guide. It's going to take you through some pretty awesome steps of how to actually create the content, what to look for when you're creating content, some best practices on what content to capture. Also, I have a non-public webinar that talks a little bit more in depth in how to strategically place your people where the customer is, and you can find that at reputationrevenue.com/put your salespeople where your customers are. And I offer a free download for a brand evaluation. If you want to evaluate your own personal brand, that's there as well at reputationrevenue.com/wp.content upload, and then go ahead and grab that. And I apologize that it doesn't look pretty, but I wanted to make sure you all had that. Those are not public, so you're going to need those links in order to access that stuff. The takeaways today, well, it's time to create an atmosphere where people can do amazing things. It's just time. We need to humanize our brand. We need to tap into it. Share your brand story. Identify the core values of your organization and connect to them personally, and let those values guide you through this process in activating your voice. Leverage the human capital in your business. You hired these people. Let's leverage them. There's a lot of value there. Engage your fan base and involve your loyal customers. You saw several examples today of customers that had absolutely no problem telling their story and getting the spotlight for 15 seconds of fame. And then, of course, clarify the goals for this project. If you decide to move forward and create an advocate program within your organization, it's really important that you share it with every single person on your staff and stay on point. You're going to need somebody on the inside to really help you do that. I'm going to repeat myself. We know human beings get a biological and social reward from telling personal stories. And this sharing is the pinnacle of engagement. The act of doing and sharing feeds each other. So let's not go hungry. Let's feed each other. And I'm wondering if some people have some questions for little Miss Kate and I.
You know what, we do. We have a couple of questions that came in, but audience, we need some more of your questions. So if you haven't gotten in your questions yet for Kate and Renee, now would be a perfect time to do that. Interesting, Dawn. I will get to that in just a moment. But I tell you what, it's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, I announced that our good friends at Kate Frost Inc. and Reputation Revenue giving away a super cool prize today on the webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to win the Brand Advocate Ultimate Swag Bag. That's right. It's filled with awesome tools so you can get your brand story on. It is filled with, let me see if I get this right, the Ultimate Swag Bag, you'll see it all in the picture there, a Bluetooth selfie stick, a Fujifilm mini camera, a 3-in-1 iPhone lens, a 58-piece prop kit, a 6-piece emoji pack, and a pack of dry erase markers. All the good stuff that you need so you can activate your voice and begin advocating on behalf of your brand. Awesome prize for you and your dealership. So if you want to get in on this, well then get ready and get to your keyboards. First person to write in the correct response is going to be winning this awesome prize today. Of course, if there's any vendors on the line, we're going to ask that you please sit this one out. We do, of course, appreciate your presence here today, but this prize is intended for dealership personnel only. We thank you in advance. All right, audience, here we go. Good luck, everyone. I hope you guys are paying attention and took notes. We're looking for 3 answers
No
here.
pressure.
No pressure, no pressure. 3 answers here. Good luck, everyone. Here's the question. Now, earlier you heard Kate and Renee talking about content on your website. So when creating content, what 3 areas should you focus on? When creating content, what 3 areas should you focus on? Is this thing on? This thing's on, right?
I feel like I should do the
Oh, let's see. Very interesting answer. Oh, we have a winner. I was going to say very interesting answers, but not the correct ones until Sam Grenier probably. Sam Grenier.
Go Sam!
You know Sam?
Not yet, but
Not
he will
yet?
soon.
Sam, you're our winner. Just so you know, Sam, you have won a really awesome prize, that Ultimate Swag Bag, with your correct answer of people, events, and FAQs. And Joe Webb, no, it was not legs, but and thighs. But Sam Grenier, you're the winner, dude. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what. Tell me what dealership you're from and also your mailing address. We do appreciate you being here, and congratulations on winning this super cool prize. You're going to be hearing directly from our friends over at Kate Frost Inc. and Reputation Revenue about getting your prize. First thing, though, I need to know who you actually are and what your mailing address is. So hopefully we'll get that in right now while I write your name down. Of course, I already spelled your name.
Congrats, Sam. Can't wait to see the pics.
He took notes. He definitely took notes. We had some interesting, Joe Webb was not the only one who wrote in some interesting answers.
Shocker.
It was funny, too, because AJ wrote in, Joe Webb, stop thinking about lunch. No, you're not thinking about lunch, are you? But I do like some of the other answers we got. It just wasn't the answers we were looking for. So thank you so much, everyone, for playing along. Joe, I cannot say that on the air. What are you doing? Sam says he is at Parker Toyota in Idaho. Congratulations, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for playing along. And congratulations to Sam. And, of course, we want to thank our good friends at Kate Frost Inc. and Reputation Revenue for their incredible generosity. And I love the way they think outside the box. All right. Let's get to a couple of these questions. First thing I want to bring up to Renee. We had one of our attendees, Dawn. She said she tried to go to one of the links, and she thinks she got it wrong. So I was wondering if you could put that up real fast. She said she tried to go to Reputation Revenue.
Renee, maybe we should probably post the links if we can on like our Facebook page, just so it's a quick reference.
Yeah, she said she went to reputationrevenue.com/put-your-salespeople where your customers are.
You're probably going to need the dashes, sorry. Put dash, your dash, salespeople.
Oh, Dawn, did you use the dashes?
That.
Let's see, because I think she just spelled it out. At least that's what she wrote to me. She said, nope, she didn't. Okay, so, Dawn, we have it on the screen for you now.
I'll go back. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, we have it on the screen for you now, so maybe you could copy that screen or whatever.
And we'll also share it. Kate, you want to put it on our Facebook pages?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, so everybody...
Yeah. So to make it really easy, we'll post it on our Facebook pages so it's facebook.com/Kate Frost Inc. and facebook.com/Reputation Revenue, and we will have those for you shortly after the call today.
I love it. I'm still writing down my mailing address. Okay. Oh, Dawn says she got it. Thank you so much.
Yay!
All right, let's go up here. Sam, congratulations again. You're awesome. Okay. Your first question actually does come from Dawn. She wanted to know, and she didn't say who this question was for, so you guys can like arm wrestle and decide who wants to answer it. Dawn, look, did you hear that, Renee? Kate's all about the arm wrestling. Dawn wants to know.
Turn on our cameras?
Oh, yes, turn on your cameras, Kate. Let them see how cute you are.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Ready? Let's arm wrestle.
The first question comes from Dawn. She says, what's the best way to ask customers to tag themselves in photos that you post?
Ooh, Kate, you want to take that, or do you want me to take it?
Yeah, and I might have a different answer than you, so if you want to interject as well. But I would suggest that at the time that you're taking the photo, if you want to have them sign a photo release form or just let them know that you're taking the photo to share on social media, again, I would say, check back tomorrow or whenever you plan on posting it so that you can see your photo and tag yourself. So I think it's just an awareness standpoint, letting them know that it's going to be posted.
Yeah, and I can tell you that what we wanted to do, because obviously the goal was to foster community engagement, was when the photo was being taken, of course they're saying, be on the lookout. We're going to post this out on Facebook, or we're going to tell your story more or less, right? Why is it that you chose Minnie, or whatever their story was. But as a follow-up, the salesperson or the advocate would actually capture the link of the post and email the customer and say, hey, oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know, hey, congratulations again on whatever it is, whether they bought parts or visited the service department or bought a new car, and said, your really cool pic is up on Facebook. I thought you might want to take a look. And oh, by the way, be sure to tag yourself. Or if you want to tag yourself, that's how they were getting those customers to tag themselves in those, as they were sending a follow-up note and then asking them to do it.
And I think that you bring up a great point, because it seems like if you do that extra step and send the email, you should be following up with your sold customers anyway, but how nice, because it looks like you're giving something back, and maybe you incorporate that into that next day follow-up anyway, letting them know that, the manufacturer is going to be sending a survey, and that would help promote all of that goodwill.
Yeah, it's a great best practice to send them a link, because they're looking for it. In fact, there were a few times where we had so much content and it was backed up that people were like, where's my picture? And so we were having to reorder those, because people are really looking for those pictures.
Huh, interesting. Okay, Dawn had a follow-up question. She says, okay, thanks. Follow-up note is a great idea, but you can only tag a customer if you, as a person, is a friend of theirs, correct?
Correct. We weren't tagging them. Those were done all by the individual. So what we would do is send them the link and say, hey, and by the way, tag yourself. And then what would happen is it would bring that photo back live into a news feed, and it would start to tell Facebook's algorithm that this is important. And and so we asked them to tag. We never tagged anybody in anything. Those were all done by the individuals.
Interesting. Okay. All right, ladies. Next question comes from a number of people. Same question, though. All right? So just so you know. For instance, Dawn wrote, what is this cloud service customers upload pictures to? How does that work? Our winner today, Sam, said, you mentioned a cloud sharing service the employees use to upload photos, stories, etc. Do you have a service you recommend? And Jamie said, what is this so-called cloud sharing service? Please explain. Explain to the audience, please. Who would like to take this?
I'll let Renee take that.
Maybe we should ask Joe Webb. What's the cloud? Okay. There are a few of them. Dropbox is a service. I use Box. I think Kate uses both. There's several different cloud services that are out there. We use Box.com at that store because we're managing their content for them, and we're part of their team. It's our account, but if you're at the dealership and you want to put something together like this for your team, you would just want to purchase an enterprise account through Box or Dropbox. And then what you do is you invite your advocates into the collaborative folders. And so they download the app on their phone, the Box app in this case, snap pictures, grab the picture, drop it into Box, and tell a quick story. And then it alerts whoever's managing the content that a photo was added, and then you take it from there. So Dropbox is probably another popular one. Kate, do you know of any others?
No, those would be the two that I have the most experience with, and they've been really easy to work with. Again, Renee mentions the notification, and that's nice because then you're not having to log in unnecessarily. You'll know when stuff has been added, and you can organize from there.
Excellent. Now, Dawn, Jamie, Sam, and anyone else who had questions about those cloud service things, if you have a follow-up question, please let me know. We have lots of people who are writing in. Let's see. Our next question is from AJ. He says, is not boosting just a choice of mini PDX or a part of the strategy?
What was it?
I'm just reading exactly what it says. Is
What's more information, AJ?
PDX
is not boosting. He wrote, is not boosting just a choice of mini PDX or a part of the strategy?
It is, okay, I get it.
Yeah, me too now.
The leadership at this store, a lot of you might relate to this, so bear with me as I stumble through it. A lot of management and a lot of decision makers are still struggling with Facebook or any of the social media platforms as a true marketing channel. We're getting there. We're making progress. At this store, because of the uncertainty and because of the lack of positive in the past, they had other people managing content, and it just wasn't getting them anywhere. They purposefully elected not to invest in Facebook advertising. Now, Kate and I believe differently, and I think you ask any social media marketer out there, Kathy Cruz will tell you straight up, you've got to boost your posts. You have to, do your dark posts. You have to invest in advertising. But again, this goes back to the goal was not to, it was an organic goal. They wanted to see what they could reach organically. So I would say you absolutely need to have a paid strategy with your advocates, but it's not necessary. As you could see, several of the posts had engagement organically because we were actually, the goal was to create engagement and get people to talk about, engage in their photos and engage in the photos that the employees were generating. So I hope that answers your question.
And as a piece of that, I think that 1 month we actually maybe spent, $5 per post for 5 of them because they had that rally coming up and they wanted the awareness and the participation and people to sign up for it. So we did pay to boost a few of them, but overall it wasn't part of their daily strategy.
Yeah, it was the event. So in Facebook you can create events and they sometimes get lost in the feed and they fall off. And because they were trying to get the word out to their local, so it was a very strategic boost to their existing audience because the rally could only have so many. And yeah, you're right, Kate, it was $25. So
yeah, it was huge.
It was huge.
$25, and we had to tell people, don't come, the rally's full.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Let's see. AJ wrote in, because Facebook is so expensive, Kate has spent 7 cents per engagement for us today.
Breaking the bank.
That's right, baby.
We're with you, AJ. You guys need to do Facebook advertising. But with regard to this program, we're trying to show you that for those of you who are non-believers, it works. It works.
Okay. Another comment from Dawn. She said, I've asked salespeople to message me a photo with comments. How do you, if you're the one who's posting, because you're the administrator, right? How, and she says, which works pretty well. Is Dawn's way best? Do you just keep asking people, okay, you got a couple coming in to pick up a car, right? So get a picture. When you get it, send it to my phone, tell me who their names are, give me a comment that I can put. Is that how you do it? Do we have to bribe them with coffee and donuts? What's the best way to get the other salespeople involved?
So
I'm going to let Renee take this.
Yeah. So I think every dealership in America is up against this because it's what everyone does. I, as well as Kate, have a problem with being inside of a box. I like to blow those boundaries. So we said, let's blow up that model and say that's not what we're going to ask people to do. We're going to go in, we're going to extract the deeper pieces of the brand, and then we're going to train our employees. And I held a 2-day training. I trained every single employee in the dealership, primarily because they need to know who they're working for, on the core values, the essence of the brand, and the messaging, and ask them to be a storyteller. We asked for hand raisers, and we got them. People were like, wow, this is really cool. You mean I can contribute? That was key. If they don't know the values of the organization, then on an intrinsic level they can't connect. And then all it is to them is just another picture of a customer buying another car. It has no emotion in it at all. So the key here is why we started with the storytelling piece and the values piece, that brand discovery piece, is that if you're not putting together a training that's going to allow every single person to activate then it is just as simple as saying, hey, we need content for our Facebook page or Twitter or Google Plus or wherever it is you're posting it, Pinterest, Instagram. All of them are very, very powerful. What made this different is because we accepted the individuality and the interpretation from each employee who was willing, remember, engagement means ability and willingness, and they were willing to do it, and the results have been incredibly powerful as far as what it's done for the community at that dealership. It unites everybody. It creates a sense of loyalty. Nobody leaves. That's where their evidence is. They feel like they're part of something bigger. It's meaningful work.
Well, Dawn really liked your answer, but she says, do you have any suggestions on how to train them?
Hire Renee.
Boom!
There is that. If you want to message me on Facebook or email me my information, Renee at reputationrevenue.com, we can take it offline. But the resources that we added, that were on the resource page, that will help you. And the webinar that's posted there will also help you, because I break down the questions that you need to ask your dealer or your owner or the decision maker of who you are, and then you just translate that. So yeah, it's you need a brand discovery, and then from the brand discovery you can take and train your people based on that.
And I would say, just as a footnote to all of this, is, we provide social media service for dealerships across the country, and I get those pictures. We ask for the pictures of the customers at the time of delivery, and I know that was really hot for a while. Everybody was doing that. The difference is the story that comes with it and the branding piece. That's why there's success. You can probably go back and look at your own photos and see the engagement that happened, but there's a different quality and caliber kind of when you have that branding piece and everybody's bought in, and it's not just, oh, I've got to snap a photo and here it is really blurry and the customer's in the shadow. Part of that resource guide is also tips on how to take great photos, because that's a big piece of it.
I love it. I love it. Dawn said she's going to take you up on your offer, Renee. So you're probably going to be hearing from her shortly. Thank you so much. Before I close out this awesome webinar, I want to leave you with one last comment that was made by our good friend AJ Maida. He says, I have @KateFrost Inc. up on my Twitter search, and I keep getting served up shoe ads. Hashtag shocked. Hashtag not shocked.
I don't know. I don't know
how you do that. Well, I'll tell you what, Renee, Kate, I love our Girl Power webinars. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you an opportunity to say thank you to the audience.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for spending an hour and 15 minutes with us today. We are so passionate about this. At least I'm kind of crazy passionate about it. I'm a bit of an evangelist when it comes to personal branding, and I know there's a lot of fear around personal branding in the dealerships today. It's personal plus. It's personal plus corporate or personal plus business branding. If you guys unite together and tell your story together, man, it's just awesome, awesome results come of it. But thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Agreed. Amen and hallelujah.
Hopefully we'll have you ladies back sooner than soon, I hope. I love webinaring with you guys. Thank you so very much for being here today. You dropped some great knowledge on everyone today. Of course, I want to remind the audience that a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please share it with your friends and colleagues. We don't mind. And today's webinar is also going to be posted online within 24 hours. All you have to do is go to dealeron.com/webinars, and from there you can view our upcoming webinar schedule and sign up for those, or you can access any of our past webinars too. Also, this webinar is going to close in just a moment, and when it does, you're going to receive a short survey. So please fill it out. We want to know what you thought of Kate and Renee today. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love their webcam thing? Did you like the information they were putting out? Any of that stuff. We want to know. We want to hear it all. Today, we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all those completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. You want to be part of that, right? Now, I want to let you know, invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next webinar. We're going to be continuing our Girl Power webinar weeks with prospecting. Oh, prospecting. Boy, oh boy, I know a lot of salespeople who don't like it, but you know what? You need it. But prospecting, data mine your own leads and generate more business. So here's the question for you. Which would you choose? 1, wait on point outside all day to try and catch an up in the hopes that you will sell a car. Or 2, work smarter, not harder, and have the leads walk in the door and ask for you by name. It's true. Instead of waiting for something to happen, you can take control of your destiny and increase your sales simply by knowing more than the other salespeople in your dealership. Automotive trainer Jennifer Suzuki, she's here to help. She is going to show you how to use your CRM and other vendor tools to your prospecting advantage. She's also going to explain how to effectively use your existing leads to increase vehicle sales. Attendees of this fast-paced 1-hour webinar are going to learn how to create your own lead list and will also obtain effective process maps with actual call, voicemail, text, and email examples. Jennifer is going to share real success stories that will also bring in a guest salesperson who's been using those techniques to consistently sell an extra 20-plus cars a month. All of it just from the data mining. So are you ready to get your head in the game? If you want to learn more about prospecting and how to data mine your own leads and generate more business, then this is the presentation you've been waiting for. So don't miss it. Don't forget, Dealer-On's weekly webinars are held Thursdays, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding these webinars and our topics, feel free to contact me directly. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio, and I want to hear from you. So track me down online. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you name it. I'm on all the automotive social networks too. Or you can email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all in another webinar in Dealer-On's continuing education series. Thank you so much and have a good one.